This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Vincent, can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Vincent, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear.
Can we start or?
I'm waiting for Dato to moderate the session.
All right, can.
Testing, can you hear me?
Yes, Dato.
All right,
Yes,
thank you.
Dato. Thank you for
We will
being the
start
moderator
by-
today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vincent, and thank you very much, Mr. Jeremy. So we have a few more minutes before we start.
Yeah.
Very good morning to everybody. I think we shall start our session now. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Jeremy as our speaker today. And also I would like to thank Humanology for hosting this program to share with everybody on the knowledge and what we need to do after COVID-19. On behalf of CGMA, I'm representing my president, Dr. Zahari, to apologize that he's not able to attend the meeting today. So I will be the moderator of this session. So first of all, as we know that after MCO, everybody will be going back to work. So that's why remodeling of the workplace is very, very important for us to get ready and what are the changes we need to do. And also there's a lot of the things that a lot of uncertainties out there. So that's the things that we need to get prepared to. So before I start, let me introduce to you our speaker today. Mr. Jeremy has over 20 years of strategic and operation management experience. He's also a chartered management accountant, certified accountants from Malaysia, chartered global management accountant, and also he holds a Master of Science in Engineering Business Management from Warwick University. So before I start, so let me do a bit of the what is that called housekeeping instruction. So the learning session will last for about 1 hour. Then the second one, please make sure your mic are mute so that the session will go smoothly. Please post your question at the chat box. After the session, we will answer the question and put in the Facebook. And also, slide will be posted at the Facebook of CBMRA and also Facebook of Humanology, and also what is that called, the website of Humanology. Please download it when you're available. And also, we will keep you learning by sending you WhatsApp or extra reading materials after the sessions. And without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Jeremy to start his presentation now. Hope you enjoy the session. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Dato'. Hi, everyone. Right. Good morning, and it's indeed a pleasure for me to be speaking on this particular webinar. Right. As mentioned, my name is Jeremy. You can call me JL for short. Thank you, Humanology, for organizing this, and also thank you to CBMRA for having me on board here. Now, a very quick thing. It'll be great if some of you can actually allow me to see your faces, so that when I'm doing this, I'm not speaking to a whole list of names. That'll be great. Now, because I also like to see some reactions on what I'm talking about. Now, please do not feel shy to ask questions on the chat box. Okay, just type in your questions. I'm actually having the chat box so that I can see what you're asking, right? So that will allow me to very quickly figure out whether I should answer your questions in here or answer your questions later on. Now, all of you, can you hear me? No problem. Okay, you can hear me fine? Okay, so
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Right, we're going to talk about the remodeling of the workplace post-COVID-19, how it affects your work. Let us all of us be honest here, okay? I am just going to go very quickly to some of the slides that I've prepared. All right, this is about me. I'm not going to spend too much time. Now, after we go back to the workplace, okay, a lot of things will not be business as usual. So these are the three key takeaways that I want to emphasize on. The black swan and the impact of all. For those of you who are familiar with the word black swan, what it means is that something big, something bad has happened, and it is impacting all of us. In this particular case, the black swan here has affected the whole world. We have been having a few black swans over the years. Okay, a lot of people say SARS, even the local Nipah virus was a black swan. Yes, it was a black swan, but it was very localized. This is the first major black swan that all of us can probably remember, right? All of us can remember for a very, very long time to come. Okay, our grandfathers will probably say, yeah, there was another black swan, World War II. Our great-grandfather will probably say, yeah, World War I was a black swan. But this is probably one of the most major ones that affected the whole entire world, okay, in the last 100 or odd years. Now, I'm going to talk about the 4 stages of business and control. What do I mean by that? When we go back to the workplace, please look at the 4 stages that we need to go through, okay? Which is why remodeling is the very last stage. But the first stage actually already begun. It is now. What can we do now to get to the last stage, okay? And of course, my last takeaway is on what we call corporate global entrepreneurship, right? Corporate entrepreneurship, which will be very critical for growth, right, in the very near future. Now, let me just start by doing this, okay? Something very simple for everyone. The most dangerous phrase in the language is, we have always done it this way. This will be the most dangerous thing for all of us when we go back to the workplace. If you have noticed, today is the 29th day of the so-called MCO. Many parts of the world are also in a similar lockdown. The world has changed in the past 29 days, and it has changed significantly. All of us can rest assured that the world now is already different. We can feel the difference, right? As a matter of fact, I was having a conference call with certain people earlier today, and they were saying that working from home seems normal. Yes, for some of us, we are still adjusting to it, but it's going to be something that will be the norm as we go further and further into the new era. Now, we are going to come into a place where business will become unusual, meaning there is no more business as usual. It will be business unusual. We need to find a new so-called norm. So if we keep on saying we have always done it this way, right, then we are in very big trouble. What it means is we are probably not changing fast enough. Okay, the world has changed. I'm just going to go through a few slides. What is this black swan that we are experiencing now? Everyone, let's be honest here. COVID-19 is a very big black swan. We don't expect to find any cure for it, any vaccine for it till 1 year down the road. Okay, whatever you hear from Donald Trump, right? It is not happening. It is not going to be so fast. It will be about a year before we find a vaccine. Our recent government change is also something that we face. This is more localized, it's more Malaysian. Oil prices have tumbled down over the past few days. So happened that, when we are in the middle of this, Saudi Arabia and Russia decided to have a price war. Okay. Normally, for most countries in the world, they'll be happy with low oil prices. However, for Malaysia, we are not happy when the price is this low because it means our government and the Malaysians as a whole do not get enough revenue. Okay, there's a global lockdown, and the global lockdown has many implications. Right, it is something that a lot of us were laughing at when China did it. Then it started going to other countries, and now we are in one as well. We first started with 14. Now it's 28, and we won't be getting out of here to another 14 days time. Okay, that is if the Prime Minister does not call for an extension. We have heard over the past 3 days, okay, I have some business in China, and over the past 3 days, I have been hearing that China is getting a second wave. After they open, they are now hitting on a second wave. In fact, the Chinese government is trying to pull as many resources back as possible. So if we are expecting some gifts from them in terms of all this PPE equipment, well, let's see what happens. If it gets bad down there, they may not send anything. It's because they will take care of their own citizens first, okay? And this is something that we need to be very clear about. And why I'm saying this is it has some implications to what will be coming later on, okay, which I'm going to explain a little bit more. We are, of course, still in the middle of a trade war, okay? This trade war is not going away despite this. Certain people in the world are unhappy with other parts of the world. This is what we call the East-West trade war, okay? East-West trade war. Now, all these is happening. So in the midst of it, we have this major lockdown. Now, everyone, if you can, if you have any question, please ask. Okay, I will open the chat once in a while to have a look and see whether there's any questions. Please do not feel shy to ask your questions on the chat. Okay, now let's have a look and see what is there. So this is what I call the mother of all black swans, right? The black swan is a very unique feature, right? In the sense that we don't see much of it. However, when we see it, it is deemed as very big, and this is the mother of all black swan. Now, because of this whole entire black swan, right, I think some of you are very familiar with the word VUCA, okay? VUCA has been around, we have talked about it for years, right? As a person who do a lot of strategic planning for companies, large and small, and also a lot of operational issues, I like to use VUCA a lot, and I've been using it a lot in the last 5-6 years. It's because this is something that I feel is happening. Now, did I expect something so big to happen in this scale? I must admit, no. Okay. I was talking to Mr. Henry E. Last week. Henry E. is one of the experts of BCP in the ASEAN region. Okay. Actually organizes conferences in Singapore whereby 2,000 to 3,000 people from around the world will turn up at the conference in Singapore. So one of the key questions I asked Henry a few days ago, just last week, I actually asked him, as a BCP expert, how do we plan for something like this? And have you ever planned for something like this ever in all your 30 years of experience? And I think he was very candid with his answer. He said in BCP, we plan for, this is business continuity planning. In BCP, we plan for impact, how something will impact the organization. We have a lot of impact scenarios, but what he says is this: we never really have an impact scenario whereby so many impacts are happening at the same time. So this is what we mean by a big black swan, right? All will go through a lot of volatility, there's high uncertainty, okay? It's very complex. We do not know what works and what doesn't work anymore, and everything is very ambiguous, meaning it is all outside of our expertise. So if you are talking about volatility, right, let's put it this way. Two months ago, if you were to ask people in the stock market, would they have fallen so much? I don't think anyone would have estimated the fall, right? The US was in a high, unemployment rate was a special, very, very low, 3%, right? And now, it shot up. We're talking millions of unemployed people. There's also a lot of uncertainty here, right? STAR last week published that based on a survey of 100,000 people, 160 from what I remember, a lot of them say that they were very uncertain. And you must remember, a lot of the people who are so-called in a part-time environment, okay, 95% said they lost their job, right? I know, right, as a corporate trainer myself, right, as a corporate trainer myself, I've had people WhatsApp me and told me, Jeremy, and these are, can we mute the person? This person, what has happened, this individuals have mentioned to me that they have actually had a salary pay cut of 50%. Okay, all these at this point now. Okay, now the whole dynamics is very complex out there. We do not exactly know what is the next thing that will happen. A lot of predictions, right? But we do not know when these things will happen or not. Okay, so a key thing is when we go back, we better be listening like crazy what is happening here. And of course, last but not least, things are just ambiguous. Some industries have totally been wiped out. Some industries have totally been wiped out. How bad is it for the Malaysians like us, right? I presume most of you are Malaysian. How bad is it? You must understand, we were 4% growth this year, 4 point something. Now is -2. So basically a 6 percentage point difference, right? And we have negatives. So we do expect things to happen a lot in the next few months. Now, please, when we talk about post-COVID, I'm not implying this will happen immediately once we get back, once MCO is lifted. What I'm saying is there is going to be a certain long-term effect. Some people are saying 6 months. Some people are saying even close to a year before the new norm is found. There are ways to counter it. Okay, there are ways to counter this. Okay? So for those of you who are working, for those of you who are bosses, okay? For those of you who are upper management, please remember this. For the volatility, please remember what is your organization purpose. What's your organization purpose? I'm not asking for your vision statement. I'm not asking for your mission statement. I'm asking you, what at the end of the day is it that your company does? If it is not working for you anymore, make sure there is some changes. I have made drastic changes to the organization I'm in, right? 50% of my people are no longer doing the same thing that they are doing. The other 50% is keeping whatever we are doing alive. The other 50% are on totally new things that we have never done before, right? Because of what has happened. For uncertainty, please stop Don't panic. Do not go out and try 10,000 different things. Stop. Until your purpose is clear, stop. Look, listen, evaluate, and see what is the next best step for your organization, for your people, for your team, and even for your family. Please have a sense of clarity, okay, in terms of the chaos, right? Declutter all the unnecessary. Declutter all the unnecessary. Now, one of the things I've been suggesting to people is please do not just sit down and look at all the negative news. There's a lot of opportunities available here. Why? Because the ambiguity, right, has changed a lot of things. Some industries have gone back from, even if you have 30 years of experience in that industry, it's gone back down to 0, meaning it's a clean new plate. There's a lot of opportunities available out there. So for everyone, have a very good look at what's available out there, opportunities. Don't make your move quickly just because everyone is making that move. See what is possible. Make that move when you are ready. But remember, you don't have all the time in the world. Act fast and act smart. Okay. Other things that we must understand. We must do what is necessary to determine whether our business model is still what it needs to be. A lot of business model will change. Okay, a lot of business model will change. I'm formerly from the. I used to own a college. I sold off my college a few years back. But even then, now I still keep in touch with colleges and universities and things like that. And one of the key things that I have noticed is, hey, online learning will be the next best thing out there. And there's a lot of models that need to change. Do people really want to go back to school after this? Will parents send their kids to daycare after this? Or will the parents say, let's hold on for another 3-4 months if we can help it, right? Because we do not know whether there'll be a second wave. A lot of implication. So I've been telling a few tuition teachers, especially those for my kids, hey, they all should go online, okay? Like it or not, go online, the parents feel safer, the parents feel it's better, right? At least there is some social distancing. Please, my emphasis is, remember, the business model is changing very fast, right? Competencies will change, cost structure, all capabilities will change. Everything is changing. So look at your business model. Your business may still work. Okay, for a lot of you in large organizations, your business may still work, but it doesn't mean the way it works is going to be previously. A few things are going to happen, and I'm going to tell you next what these few things are. Okay, opportunities are there. We just need to recognize them and work hard to get. Remember, the people who are most agile in this point of time will be the ones who will be successful. The people who are resilient will be the ones who are successful. Let's have a look. These are the major issues that we cannot avoid. Let's be honest with it. I'm going to be showing you 20 points that is based on this that we cannot avoid, and we must face it head on. Okay, we must face it head on. So these are what I meant initially when I say these are the things that we cannot avoid because of the black swan. First, all of you have been hearing the government talk about Industry Revolution 4.0. We talk about Industry 4.0. Well, Industry 4.0 is a subset of IR 4.0. Okay? Now, it has just accelerated by 10 times. This is not a joking matter. All of us, even though we're at home, we have gone so much tech that Industry 4.0 is just here at our doorstep. It was supposed to be at our doorstep gradually, but now it has accelerated and it's now knocking on the door. If we don't open that door, we are dead. So all organizations will go very much into technology and automation in a very fast pace. This is something that will happen. And because this is happening, we must understand there will be implications in all areas of business, the economy, and society. The East and West divide will continue, meaning economic-wise, the East and the West will continue to have this trade war. Not necessarily a fighting war, it's a trade war that will continue, right? And my bet is East will win. So good for us, we will win this. Localization of many things. What has happened in this particular crisis is that we found out that we are very reliant on China for a lot of things. A lot of things, okay? As I mentioned, I am doing some work with China. I am doing some trading with China. We started to realize how much we rely on China for everything. Okay, when the Americans are screaming for masks, ventilators, the only real place that can produce this fast enough is China, because all their production plants are mainly there. So what is the key thing that will happen? Opportunity here is probably a lot of the governments in the world will start saying we must not rely so much on China, because end of the day, China will look after themselves first. After China looks after themselves, then they will look after if they have excess capacity going out. We must maintain some kind of essential manufacturing within the company or the country, even though we are doing it at a much more expensive cost. Something that we really need to look at. And how do they reduce cost? Automation, technology. This is something that will happen, right? Other things that we need to be well aware of is, I think a lot of people, because of the economic need that has happened, right, in the last few days, a lot of us are worried about our power to spend, okay? A few days ago, Star actually reported that the top T20 of the Malaysian society has reduced their spending the most, okay? What I'm saying here is, everyone is looking at me. Do I need to spend? Do I need to spend? Which is a key thing here. Once we go back, don't expect production to ramp up because there is demand. You may ramp up production, meaning there's supply, but there may not be much of a demand. So be very careful with that. Just because the MCO is listed doesn't mean that the demand is going to be. Business models are now obsolete, some of them, okay, so we need to relook at that. Social distancing will still continue. Now, when I was talking to Henry, this was one thing he actually highly recommended. Just because the MCO is listed does not mean that all 100% of the workforce should go back to the office. All it needs is for one person to be infected. Remember this, please remember this. 70% of the people infected with COVID show little or very minor symptoms. We don't even know whether they have it or not unless they do a check. So out of 10 people that turn up, 7 of them could be infected. I mean, one thing is one of them could be infected by it. We can't figure it out whether they have it because they are not showing any symptom at all, except for maybe a mild cough or throat dryness and things like that. And then guess what? They infect the rest, and we have 30% of them who need to go to the hospital because they have respiratory problems. I'm asthmatic, okay? I've not had an asthma attack for a very long time, and I don't intend to. So I've been very cautious with this. No matter what, the 1 month of MCO, the 1 month of lockdown has caused greater social inequality. The digital divide is going to increase unless we work on something very quickly, right? I was told a lot of students cannot go online is because their family is poor. It is very expensive to go online. They don't have the resources to go online. All these accumulate to the social inequality, because if the student of the B40 cannot get educated for this whole 1 month, it has implications to our future needs as a society as a whole. And like it or not, this is something that I'm going to be putting it out. We are probably going to be facing some kind of a global recession in the foreseeable future. Okay, I mean, it's probably already now, right? I won't even use the word foreseeable future. Now, these are 20 things that we can expect to happen, okay, once we get back to the workplace. So please take note of this, right? These are 20 things we can expect to happen once we get back to the workplace. A lot of companies will be looking at maximizing or getting a positive cash flow. That is the truth, okay? This lockdown is causing a lot of people lots of money, and they are going to look at maximizing the inflow and minimizing the outflow. So they're going to cut, they're going to stop, they're going to use whatever they can use, and at the same time, stop, look, listen, understand, make a decision before the next step. The need for business continuity planning and team increases significantly. Okay, what I mean by that, it's going to continue. That team has been formed, is going to keep on doing what they need to do for the foreseeable future. One thing that I found very interesting, during this whole crisis, that as I said, one of the key things, a lot of companies are still going back to the same procurement processes, right? And they expect things to be fast, especially when they talk about medical equipment. It is a crisis here. If you are going to follow your procurement processes, right, and expect things to be business as usual in procurement, to check this, to check this, to check this, don't expect the item to come to you fast, right? Because this is not normal. We must understand it. So the business continuity plan team, if you have not looked into this, please look into this. Rather, we need to have processes in that particular area. Employee welfare. Right. Can we mute the person? Thank you. Right. Employee welfare will include things like masks, sanitizers, thermometers. Don't be surprised you go back to the office. There is those walk-in sensors to take your temperature, everything under the sun. Okay. Because why? We need to ensure that people who have it, people who have a flu, do not go in. Understand this. We do not need a second wave. Right. We do not need a second wave. Virtual meetings will definitely increase in significantly, right? I already told some of my clients, next time I don't think I need to meet you, right? We just do WhatsApp or even a chat or even whatever medium that you're using, just do that, okay? Right. So I've downloaded a lot of different webinar software on my laptop already, okay? Work from home will definitely grow in numbers. Work from home will definitely grow in numbers. That is definite. Okay. Human capital sourcing will become global. Why? Very simple. Two factors. Work from home will become more significant. So company culture accepts it. Once they accept it, they say, hey, we got talent here, we got talent there. Why don't you just get them to work with us? It will happen. And the other thing we must understand is this, and this I will explain a bit later. The other thing is to do with, we see an increase in what we call part-time project people. Okay, that is what we are seeing. Major process redundancies will be improved. One of the key things I learned from a HR person over the last few days was this. This person was telling me, because everyone started working from home and now they are about 80% efficient, 80% capacity of what they used to be, right? This is one of the essential companies. And he told me, hey, we actually see a lot of major redundancies, right? And these will definitely be reduced. And I asked him straight out after that, so with this major redundancy, are you implying that certain people will lose their job, right? Let's put it this way. He said, no, it's just major redundancies. We will probably reallocate people to other places, other resources, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, he was smiling. So I don't actually know what he meant, but I think personally, if, as a person who used to be in senior management in corporate, right, I can safely say this, that means redundancy, retrenchment in traditional areas will definitely happen. Automation will increase significantly. Now, other things that we need to be very clear on is this. The gig economy will increase. For those of you who are not sure what the gig economy is, let me just quickly explain. Things like people doing part-time work, as I mentioned, project work, the people who work as Grab drivers, are definitely increasing. Oh, talking about Grab, I was talking to someone in Grab yesterday, and the person was telling me their plans that they made 2-3 years ahead have actually been accelerated. They are doing it now. Think that they were thinking 2-3 years ahead. Think that they're saying, okay, this is like a nice thing to do, right? In the near future, they have actually put it to now. So this is how fast it's moving, right? The organization structure, number 12, the organization structure will change because of all these things. It cannot exist the way it exists. We understand there's too much bureaucracy in the system. That is what I meant by process redundancy. Leadership style, leadership method will also see a significant change as well. Why? A lot of people will need to be answering this question. So if you're a leader, please answer this question. Do you trust your staff if they're working from home? How do you ensure that they are doing what they are doing? How do you measure their performance? Okay, so all these things will definitely come into play. And to me, a lot of performance will become outcome-based, meaning we want to see the outcome. Don't talk about how much time you have spent doing it. Talk about what's the outcome that has been achieved. This is something that will happen. And a lot of managers will need to learn to manage online. Basically, they may or may not see their people often enough, but they need to manage these people even though they are 50, 100 or at home doing their work. Employers, 14, will need to be more transparent, right? This is one of the key things that a lot of employers, when you go back, you will probably need to have a very critical conversation with your staff if you are not doing that already. I know a lot of people are doing that now. Diversity will increase because of the greater number of pool of people that we can bring in to the workforce. They may not need to be in the office anymore. Does not apply to all industries, but it is something that a lot of people will need to relook at. Right? Ability to motivate becomes paramount. Okay, this is critical for a lot of leaders, especially now. This is very much related to 18, right? Step 18, increase in mental or emotional issues. There is going to be a huge, a lot of challenges, let's put it this way. We are in a very condition that is very, very movable, it's very ambiguous. There's going to be a lot of issues. And let's be frank here. Most of the leaders, CEOs I'm talking to, they don't exactly know what is happening next. They are putting their bets on things, but they cannot be sure because it's so complex out there. So we as employees, we as senior management, or we as leaders need to be highly resilient, meaning tahan, right? And just keep on going. The skill set needed for the new business unusual will be digital and emotional, okay? And last but not least, I do see a lot of organization going towards corporate entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship, right? And I'll go into that a little bit later, very quickly. Yeah? I've only got about 16 slides, don't worry. Okay. So what are the 4 stages? I'm going through this so that you can ask me questions later. What are the 4 stages? The 4 stages are resilient. So now build resilience, okay? Ensure that the people know what is happening. If your employer, have a talk with your team. If you're a manager, have a talk with your team to tell them the actual situation, right? Initially, when we started the MCO, some people may have gone, okay, fantastic, 2 weeks of holiday. Then they realize how grave the situation is, okay? We are talking about a recession coming. When the statistics was published, imagine it was supposed to be a 4% growth. Now it's a -2. It is significant. We are talking 6% decrease. And this is just projected now. We hope it's not going to be that bad. But we are talking about a recession here. The other thing you need to do is please prepare for the return. What I mean by prepare for the return, there is going to be a lot of significant things that needs to be done. Okay, the MCO does not allow us to do certain things as employers. What needs to happen is we need to make sure that all these are prepared. Do not think about it, how important it is. Right, I'm having an emergency announcement in my area. Okay, I'll continue. There is a very big issue here. Please rethink whether you want 100% of your staff to go back to the office. Okay, I'm actually having an emergency announcement right outside my door. Okay, right, the government is going around telling people to stay in the house, huh? Right, so please remember, when this MCO is over, do you want 100% of the people to go back to the office? Right, and once they are, please take the necessary precautions, and please, as much as possible, inform all of them of what is the situation in your organization. Now, whoever is going back, whoever who has that opportunity, whoever who is in a decision-making position, please reimagine the future. Right, my tip to you is, reimagine the future with less people at work, more people at home. Reimagine the future with a lot faster, a lot more agile teams in place, small agile team being able to do multitask. Do not think that people will be, no, this is my job description, I only follow my job description. It is gone, okay, it is gone. This is not going to happen anymore. A lot of things need to be done from a process perspective. A lot of things need to be done from HR. Finance is having a major headache to figure out where the money is. So those of you who have people owing you money, okay, if you are a large organization and you can afford it, please give them an extension of time. But if you're a smaller organization, my suggestion is please collect as fast as you can. Okay. Now, stage 4 is remodeling. You need to do what you need to do. Let's be frank here. When I mean you need to do what you need to do, I'm implying whatever it needs to make sure the organization survives, right? If you need to increase something, increase something. If you need to cut something, you need to cut it. But please do this in a very humane manner, okay? Right? Being humane is humane being. We are talking people, we are talking livelihoods here. So as much as possible, make sure retrenchment, redundancy is the last. So therefore, where I'm going to next is please make sure you think about reskilling, retraining your people. It's very critical that we look into that. Right? If you can afford it, you have the ability, please retrain your people. We are talking livelihood, and we are talking about fellow Malaysians here. So these are the things, skills that will increase and decrease. Some of you may look at it and say, okay, where's the source? This is from the future, this is from the World Economic Forum. This is a 2018 report. This report has not changed, okay, in the sense that, why? Because of COVID-19, as I mentioned to you, it accelerated the whole entire IR 4.0. So this is based on IR 4.0. It is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive. It's always the one who can manage change the best. So if you can manage change the best, you will survive. So remember, certain things will decline, certain things will be growing. Okay? Now, I don't want to be a bearer of bad news here, but this is what when I was doing my Chinese New Year shopping, it seems so long ago. Okay? One of the things is, of course, you know, during Chinese New Year, you know, we need, as a Chinese person who celebrates this, I want to wear my first day, always like to wear clothing. I used to buy clothing for 2 days, now I only buy for 1, okay? So what happens here is that I was going to the shopping mall, and I was, after buying something, right, paid for it, and I was paying, I noticed that it was a shift change, and how many people were actually counting money behind the counter. There was one supervisor and 3 individuals counting money behind the supervisor, okay, behind the counter. So I noticed, wow, 4 persons to count money. And my thing is, oh, okay, that's interesting. What happens when e-wallet comes? Well, this was just this year. What happens when e-wallet starts to take up? And this is what exactly is happening, right? In this particular crisis, I don't want to touch you, you don't want to touch me. Some people say money itself contains the virus, don't want to touch the money. So we are all going more e-wallet, right? We all even don't want to take card, touchless. Now, my question to you is this. What happened to those people, the 4 people who were counting money behind the counter? This is something significant. We need to relook, we need to remodel, we need to rethink exactly how we can still make money, because businesses need to make money, and retain a lot of these people by moving them into new skill sets. Okay? No more saying, oh, I'm a cashier, I don't know customer service, I don't know how to greet the customer, I don't know how to upsell the customer, I do not know how to do this and that. No more such thing. We need the people to be able to do this. I'm giving you a very simple, basic example. So ask more questions if you need to later on. Okay? So this is exactly where we are coming from. Now, other things that we need to look into, okay, is it. Please make sure that a lot of your people become more entrepreneurial in their mindset. A lot of people tell me, entrepreneurship for people who go out set their own business. I always tell them, no, not exactly. Okay, because if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, what it means is this, right? Is that the person is able to make good decisions on behalf of the company. Okay, why this is critical? Very simple. There is going to be a lot of new business creation. And as Peter F. Drucker once said, okay, as you can read down there, he said business creation is the most important thing for any business. Why? Because no business stays the same. No business stays the same. It needs to evolve. So some businesses need to move from one to the other. Now, just telling you something that happened to me before the MCO was lifted. A week before the was imposed. Okay, a week before the MCO was imposed, someone actually gave me a call, right, and say, Jeremy, I heard you do a lot of strategic planning and you got a master's in engineering business management and you're an accountant. I said, yes, I am, right? So this person said, very unique set of skill set. I said, well, there are people with that, but yes, I think it's quite unique in the sense that I'm both an accountant and I also have I have a background in engineering. So the person then asked, can you do a strategic plan with my team? I asked, what do you do exactly? He said, oh, we are a manufacturer and we build exhausts. And I went, exhaust for what? Exhaust for cars. We are thinking of seeing how we can look into the existing business. Now, I asked the person, you are building exhaust for cars in for combustion engine, right? He said, yes, for the combustion engine. So my question to him is this, can you tell me how the exhaust pipe will be part and parcel of cars which are now going more or less electric? He kept quiet. I asked him, do you think that there is a business or not in the future? Now, I'm not an expert in what are the capabilities of exhaust, but the person kept quiet and the person just said, can I get back to you on this? Okay, now we need to figure this out. Some businesses will go obsolete in this MCO. The STAR already said 24% of SMEs are saying they probably will not open shop after the MCO is over. 24% based on the respondent. That is a lot of people. That's a crazy amount of people. Okay, right. So please check that stat though. I'm pretty sure 24. Now, what I'm saying here is this: we need a lot of people in the organization to look at new business creation, because whatever we are doing now may not exist, number one. or whatever we are doing now needs to be drastically remodeled. Okay, remodel. So please ask your questions later on. Now, I do not profess to have all the answers, but at least hopefully I can at least throw one or two tips or ideas to guide you along into where you think we should be going. Okay. Now, my last slide is this, and it's related to corporate entrepreneurship. Now, just let me talk to you a little bit more of corporate entrepreneurship. Corporate entrepreneurship is what I mean by this. What it means is you still work in a large organization, whatever organization you're in, right? You're still paid a salary of some sort, but what happens is you spend time looking at other businesses as well. You spend time at looking at other businesses as well. So even if a portion, like 15% of the whole entire top management, 20%, 30% of top management is doing this actively, it will be very significant for the whole organization. Now, please, when we go back to the office, and this is in line with corporate entrepreneurship, do remember these 5 key things, okay? These 5 key things are critical. These 5 key things are critical. Please spend time discussing with your people on these 5 key things. Number one, remember, going back to the office, cash flow is king. We should start that now, okay? We should figure out what should we reduce, what can we reduce, how we need to increase certain things. Because we want maximum inflow, minimum outflow. Remember that, Cash is king. Second thing, please figure out ways to increase or at least maintain that profit margin that you have. It is critical, right? Of everyone, you need to keep track of it. For those of you who are SMEs and you do not need to publish your account to your staff and things like that, right? Because the world does not need to know about it. You've got no legal obligation for them to know about this. I think it's also time to review financially how you are. I have been doing that with my team. It is critical that we do this with our team so that the team understands the decision that we are making and why we are making those decisions. It is critical. Third thing, your customers, please keep in contact with them. The same thing I will say is your suppliers, please keep in contact with them. Okay? Why? We need to understand what they need. Their need may be very different now compared to before. If we can help them, they can help us. Think of partnering, think of ensuring the survival of as many entities as possible by being able to assist each other. Then you are creating new supply chains, new relationship, new partnership, and maybe even mergers. This is something that we need to look at. Do not look at this alone. So look at the whole entire supply chain. Now, velocity. What it means by velocity? For those of you who are science students, velocity is the speed you travel at a certain direction. The speed you travel at a certain direction. So we are talking meters squared, kilometers squared. So how fast are you traveling at? Meters squared, kilometers squared in a certain direction. This speed is critical. There are certain things in your organization that must be slowed down. At the same time, there are certain things in your organization that must be speed up. Look at your operations currently. What needs to be slowed down? What needs to be sped up? Okay, it's very critical. Not everything needs to move. Not everything needs to move fast. But one key thing, and I keep emphasizing this, is business continuity planning. We, as a whole, cannot afford to take a second hit once we go back. Okay, I do not think the Malaysian government can really give out any more stimulus than they have. So, especially for business. So what we need to do is please make sure your business continuity plan is there to ensure impact to your organization is minimal. Now, some people have been asking me, should I spend a lot of money on advertising, marketing? My thing is, can you please go and check with your customers whether they got money to spend or not? Or don't talk about getting new customers. You got existing people, work with them. You already know them. Something that we must look at. Just because we can produce a lot, huge quantity, doesn't mean that we should produce in huge quantity. Think about it again, okay? Over the last few weeks, based on me talking with my Chinese counterpart, I found that a lot of things have improved, have increased significantly, cost-wise, okay? Cost-wise. So that is something that we must remember. Now, last but not least, number 5, in spite of all this, okay, as top management, please remember, we must still look at some kind of growth, okay? If you really cannot look at growth, that means you can't see anything. Just maintain what you have, do the very best you can to at least hit what you hit last year. That is the target. So that's what I mean by purpose and goal, the very beginning. Despite what has happened, the volatility that has happened, you must be able to communicate a very consistent message to your team of the next step, but be extremely agile for changes. What you plan now, if you are still in MCO, locked down at home, what you plan now may not be what it will be at the return. Okay? And when we return, it could be very different, because when everyone goes back to the workplace, you will see big drastic changes, right? Expect some bad news to come out. And when this happens, you may need to be agile, rework it again. Finally, okay, you need to keep on reimagining what the future would be to remodel the business over and over and over again. Right? My very last slide. So please don't let yesterday use up too much of today. Yesterday is gone. What we experienced live 50 days ago, or even 40 days ago, or even just 30 days ago, is very different from today. And the person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it. So what I'm saying here is this: people can criticize, people can say certain bad things about what's happening. At the end of the day, if you know that you are one of those proactive ones and you are trying to make the thing work, okay, please ignore them and continue to do what is best for your family, for your team, for your organization, and definitely for the whole entire Malaysia and the world. Right? With that, I'm going to end it. Okay, that's it. And please, just to promote a little bit, right? There's a lot of other talks coming out. All right, so I think Dr. Liao will actually explain. Dr. Liao will actually explain this a bit more. But please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay thankful that we are not as bad as some of the other places I have seen. Okay, back to you, Dr.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeremy. It's a very interesting talk, and also it's eye-opening. Actually, what Mr. Jeremy has mentioned is happening now, and I've spoken because I involved a lot of the meetings with the KSU and also with the different government sector and also private sector. So everybody is in the panic attack. I would say that a lot of people, they start to feel that what should I do? At first, the psychology stage, it would be they do not know what to do. The stage number 1 is they have a panic attack. Then after that, the second phase, it would be they think of whether they should continue or not to continue. Because when I attend one of the meeting together with a lot of entrepreneurs, then they mentioned that I'm 50 years old. So if I continue my business, so I might lose. So by the end of it, a lot of people, they start to close down the factory. So because it's a supply chain, so they definitely will affect one to another. So whereas I would like to invite you to join the other sessions as shown in the slide, which is included on the 17th. We will have Mr. Uy. He will talk about project management for the HR. Actually, please topics, he is putting HR as one of the core, but whereas he would help also for the marketing and the finance, because after you go back to your workplace, so you have to manage many projects. New projects would be coming in, and those projects you might never seen it before. But how do you plan your resources, your time, your manpower? Please stay tuned with Mr. Uy. And also on the 20th of April, we have crisis management. Stay tuned that because you feel that it would unlock on 28th, but you will not know. Okay, according to the sources I received, stay tuned, then you will get more news from that. So how do you receive, how do you accept if the government say that we open for you for 3 days, then after we'll lock you back again? What would you do? What are the preparation? Stay tuned with Mr. Daniel on the 20th of April. And of course, after going back, everybody is still scared. Would I get retrenched? What should I do? So all this, how do you as a HR, as a manager, as a director to motivate your people? So it will be presented by Mr. Suho. And also not only that, but the bosses will ask you, what have you done within this period of time when you locked down? Are you sitting at home waiting for the government to pay you 600 for the unpaid leave, or are you receiving the full salary? Then what are the new skills that you have got? So with that, Mr. Tan Seng Hin will share with you on the artificial intelligence of the post-COVID-19. At least once you go back there, you can tell your bosses saying that, okay, with during this holiday or so-called holiday, okay, so these are the skills that I've got. So with the AI, what I can contribute back to the company. Don't ask your manager or your director, what should I do? You should tell your manager and director that what you can do to help the company, regardless what level you are. And not only that, of course, Mr. Jeremy have given you a platform, what are the transition. But Mr. Edwin will share with you step by step, how do you manage your transition on the 24th of April coming soon. Not only that, one of the most interesting things that when I brainstorm with the group and also the speaker, one of the topics I like the most, which is on the 27th of April. How do you stay so that you will not get retrenched? Because as you know that most of the organization would go for retrenchment, will cut down the salary first, then after they will go lean, then the last resources would be layoff. Do you do you want to know how and what you need to prepare so that you do not being laid off after you start MCO and receive, if it started on the May, then I hope that nobody will receive any red angpao for your bulan puasa and hari raya saying that you got another 3 months, you got retrenched. So how and what should you do? Don't wait until unlock only you start to do. You have to start doing now. Because as a business owner, I'm a consultant and also advisor for so many companies. I've listened to so many comments saying that, for example, when we share with this online platform, a lot of organizations would like to see, okay, so how many of the staff actually would be proactive to join this program? Because they would not put any what is it called, regulation, you must compulsory join it, but everybody is waiting to see whether you will be proactive or not. Of course, the last one, which is I need to thanks to Miss Michelle, because as during a lot, my schedule is wake up in the morning, having some prayers, then after that doing some exercise, then waiting for the lunch, then after waiting for the tea time, waiting for the dinner, waiting for the supper. So I hope I do not increase my weight. So, and I would better to listen to Miss Michelle to share with us the secret, how do you maintain yourself so that when you go back on after MCO, you will look like a normal human being and stay with us. So with this, So thank you very much. At the side, you can see all the links that you can register for other program as well. So with this, CBMRA would like to say thank you to you, and also I represent Humanology as well to say thank you to everybody for your participation. I hope to see everybody on Friday. So I pass back to Dr. Vincent for the closing. Thank you very much.
By the way, any question from anybody? Right. Thank you, Dr. Dato. All right. Any question from anybody? Don't say anything on a good chat. Right. Right. If none, then I'll pass. Then I'll get Dr. Vincent. You want to continue?
Okay. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you so much, Dato. It was a very informative session. And for those who wants the slide, don't worry, because it will be uploaded on our Humanology Facebook as well as CBMRI Facebook. So stay tuned, because normally we do not upload the slides straight away. We will upload it by today in the evening, today later. So you will definitely get a copy of the slides if you like our Facebook page, and you know, check out the updates. Stay tuned for our next few webinar session. If you have enjoyed it, please share it on your Facebook wall as well. And also, if you have anything that you want to ask, please do so before we end the session. Yes, answering, I think Louis Canto, there won't be any certificate for this webinar because it's a free session and it's only 1 hour sharing. Okay, thank you so much for being so cooperative today. I mean, all the participants. At least there's some hiccups here and there. We are also learning, and I hope to see you in our next session as well. Okay, so if there's really nothing else, so then we will end this session. And thank you so much all for joining. Stay tuned to our next one on 17 April, same time. So okay, see you guys next time. Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeremy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Jeremy.
you.
Thank you.
Much, everyone. Thank you very much. Very good. It's very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Stay
everybody.
safe.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your 1 hour with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeremy, for your time.
Yes, thank you very much. Any of you want to ask questions, just ask. I'm okay.
Okay, I will leave this open until 11:45. If there's no more questions, no more wishes of anything, we will officially end the session at 11:45.
Okay, thank you, sir. I mean, I'm just gonna stay here. Anyone got any question? I think you can unmute yourself. All right, I see a few people came back. All right, anyone who is still there, right? As mentioned by Dr. Vincent, if you got questions, please ask. If not, okay, close the room by a certain time.
Hi, Jeremy.
Yes, hi.
Donna
Yes,
here.
yes, Donna.
I actually have a question regarding the, when you actually mentioned about leadership trust issues and online management to be revisited, right? So
Yes.
how do you actually, number one, how do you create this awareness to the management, telling them that they really need to trust? Yes, you mentioned about, it has to be output driven, output driven in terms of performance. But
Yes.
output driven is one thing. Sometimes it's quite hard for the management to show support or to actually show that they do trust the employees.
Mm-hmm.
So how would they actually, what would your ideas be in terms of, for the leaders, how do you show to your employees that you actually trust? And
Okay.
yes, we're supporting you. Yeah.
Okay, let's answer the first one. The first one is on how do leaders show trust, and now, like it or not, it needs to be something that all of us are now doing. Okay? That's why I focus on transparency. As a leader, I tell my team exactly what's happening. Right? I show them this is the situation, and I tell them it's okay for them to keep on coming back. I told them things like this. Okay, when we are doing anything now, because we are no longer there, I cannot walk over to them. I cannot, as someone mentioned, we cannot see our employees, right? Because they are working very far away. So we do not know what they are doing. So please make sure there are certain measures that is put in place within the organization. What I know is myself, my team is practicing it every single morning, every week, right? Since the start, we will have a 1 week list, a to-do list in the week, for the week. Now, in the to-do list for the week, I'm telling my team, don't put the mundane, administrative, no, I'm going to call this person, I'm going to call that person, unless it's like a list. I'm going to call like 20 people, and these are the people. Fine. That means they are structuring the information that they want to do. I am going to complete this particular thing, right? So this is what we mean by a list of outcomes. And every single day, they must be able to tell you which outcome is done and which things are added on to the outcome. And in between the day, because of the so-called invisibility, there is nothing stopping any of the leaders from having so-called webinars or con calls or even WhatsApp calls throughout the whole entire day. As long as this relationship is built, it becomes easier for the team to work. Like I know certain teams are going, half a day they will just call back to their team lead and go, okay, boss, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Okay, for this one, I'm not very sure how. So that engagement needs to be there. And this is how we build the trust. Because a lot of the bosses may be saying, I don't see them, are they really playing? But I know for a certain, many of the staff knows that this is a critical situation. This is something unforeseen. This is something unexpected. No one has prepared for this. And they know everyone's livelihood is in place. And if they don't do what they need to do, we are going to be facing a lot more problems. So what I'm saying is very simple. We need to be very transparent. Second thing is please set up structures, pure structures. What needs to be done on a weekly basis? What needs to be done on a daily basis? There needs to be reporting. There needs to be connecting depending on how it works. I connect with my team on a daily basis. 9 o'clock is what we connect. And that doesn't mean that the only time we connect, we may have other meetings. And I totally encourage my team to connect with each other. The main thing is at the end of beginning of each day, tell us what has been done.
Okay.
So that's what we have been doing.
Thank you.
Miss Donna, I would like to add a bit of based on my experience here, because all the while I would not be in station in one place. Usually what I would do is they will have to, one of the method I saw some of the managers in the group, what they have done is they will have the morning briefing every morning. So they will ask the employee to list down. Let's say you start to work by 8 o'clock. So you have to do what is called the timesheet, 8 to 9 o'clock, what are you going to do? 9 to 11 o'clock, what are you going to do? So that might be seen as micromanaging, but it depends on the level. If it's a supporting staff or it is an executive staff, you have to do it, because self-discipline is one of the issue. Because usually if you don't monitor them well, so by the end of it, they will go chaotic. And also, as what one of my personal friend, one of the Datuk told me, what you know, if you do not see them every day through remote or anyway, so some of the employees will turn to be monster. So this is an experience I've had. So you have to show that you are monitoring them, but you do not need to be monitor them, but you have to show that you are watching them, you are in my radar, actually you know what am I doing. So by using this method, and of course, if you realize that something go chaotic, so you should use a very kind way to ask, anything I can assist you, why do you do this task for 4 hours, yeah? So where can I know that you put this deadline for 3 days? So actually, can I know that why you drag for 5 days? What actually I can help you more? It's more towards communication skill plus the very, very close monitoring system. That one, Mr. Uy will share how do you do monitoring through the project management on this Friday. I hope you would join Mr. Uy session to answer your current question. So by using this method, you have the project management system to assist you, so you can show to your manager, okay, my staff have been doing this, and this in a board, in a scoreboard, so they can see. Your manager also know where it is. Or else, right, your manager also do not know what is happening. So by the end of it, everybody will look at each other. So who have to be accountable? Who have to be responsible? So all these are the elements, and the project management plays a very important role. Not only talking about the trust itself, we have to prove that we give them the trust.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah,
I think I
okay.
just want to share also what's important is sometimes in doing this, we have to ensure that we also set aside some time for us to contact or connect with our teams just on a non-work basis.
Yes,
You know, like
yes.
very simple things like what's for dinner today, or how are the kids, or just sharing, I experienced this today, and the delivery, blah 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 blah. Just to give the humane part in the whole equation.
Exactly. You have to start. You call a person, you don't straight away. Have you finished this? No, then the person, okay. So they will have a culture shock, is it? So that's why usually I will encourage is start with a very soft session. That's why morning briefing still can be done in the organization through the remote way, you see. So every morning you have the remote way of the meetings, a short one maybe for 10 to 15 minutes, what is happening, then only you start working. Then after that, you still have the close contact with the WhatsApp group chat or Google Team. So you can use the team, so, and also other methods to link it together. Even though Facebook now, they have a Facebook team and also Facebook project, so they can share with it. Another one that I feel that is very, very, a lot of free gadget actually for you to monitor them, so that the manager also do not need to ask some more. When they log into the system, so they can able to see the whole scoreboard, what are the project, where are they. That one I will leave it to Mr. Uy to share on this coming Friday.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for answering my question. I hope
Yeah.
everybody stays at home or at work. And I'll see you guys on Friday then.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you,
Thank you,
Donna.
Donna.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Anyone else? Anything? Any questions? Well, we'll call it a day. Anyone else? We all right?
Okay, if that's the case, we'll call it a day and see you guys all on Friday. Okay, thank you so much, Jeremy. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much. Very good
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Okay,
Mohammed.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
bye, guys.